The silence of Solaria 9. The sun never rose on Solaria 9. Orbiting a dying red dwarf, the sky was in a state of perpetual twilight, casting the settlement in cold hues of blue and violet. The colony was a concrete lattice sprawled across iron-rich sands, covered by a flickering dome that kept the radiation out, but not the loneliness in. Lena Arcturus, Unit 4087 of the Communication and Systems Engineering Department, had worked the midnight circuit for 12 years. She had grown up on Solaria 9, part of the second-generation settlers. Her parents were terraformers, one dead, the other long reassigned. She remembered their faces more clearly through photographs than through memories. She was efficient, methodical, and entirely unnoticed. Nobody complimented Lena. Not for her perfect record of system checks. Not for the way she recalibrated the dome's flickering light grids without guidance. Not for how she whispered corrections into the AI control node when it stuttered and glitched during its announcements. She wasn't unpleasant, just invisible, buried beneath layers of utilitarian clothing and work logs. She lived in Quarters Block D alone. Ate synthetic meal packs alone. Walked the dome's perimeter alone. Until she met him. Part 2, The Arrival. The Council had warned the colony weeks ahead of time. A ship from the Outer Belt colonies was inbound. No emergencies. No reinforcements. Just a transfer. One engineer being assigned to Solaria 9 due to resource redistribution. They rarely got newcomers. Most transfers went away from Solaria. He arrived in a battered shuttle that settled into the West Port with all the ceremony of a falling brick. His name was Dario Kell, Specialist, Biosynthetic Integration Unit. She first saw him through the glass panels of the Port Authority wing. Messy dark hair, a patchy beard, and eyes that looked like they noticed things. He wasn't handsome in the traditional sense, but Lena watched him for a few minutes longer than she intended. Maybe it was the way he smiled at the maintenance crew. Maybe it was because he didn't look crushed by the weight of isolation. She turned away when he looked up. But she felt his eyes linger. Part 3. Unexpected Contact. They met officially 3 days later. Lena had been rerouting comm lines near the lower biodome when she heard boots scuffing against the grated floor behind her. "You're Lena, right?" he asked. She turned slowly, clutching her tool pack. "Yes. I'm Dario. I'm supposed to integrate the new neural plant interface. Heard you're the best with the AI mesh." She blinked. Best. No one had ever said that out loud. She almost laughed, but her voice came out awkward and thin. "I just know how to make it stop glitching." He grinned. "Same difference. Mind if I shadow you for a bit? I'd rather not turn the dome into a toaster." They worked side by side for the next 2 hours. She showed him the calibration panel. He asked questions not like he was testing her but like he was interested. He didn't talk about himself much, but when he did, it was casual and honest. He told her about working in the asteroid colonies. About a dog he'd once owned, lost during a habitat collapse. About how he hated synthetic meals and planned to grow mint in his unit just to smell something real. She listened. She found herself smiling when he made dry jokes about the AI's soothing voice modules. And when they were packing up, he said it. "You're brilliant, Lena. Like really. You made this place breathe again." The words hit her like a rogue solar flare. She laughed nervously, brushing hair behind her ear. "I just keep the glitches down." "No," he said, looking at her. Not past her, not through her, but directly at her. "You're the reason this dome still functions. I've worked a lot of systems. You're leagues ahead of anyone I've seen." She couldn't speak. Her throat tightened, her heart stuttered, and something in her chest cracked open. No one had ever told her she was brilliant. No one had ever complimented her. Part 4. System reboot. She replayed those words for days. You're brilliant, Lena. The next morning, she looked in the mirror and tied her hair back differently. It wasn't vanity. It was curiosity. What does he see? She started experimenting with her synthetic meals, adding spices she'd stockpiled but never used. She walked with her head slightly higher. Not out of pride, but as though her bones had remembered she was more than a shadow. Lena began to look forward to shifts. Dario always found a reason to stop by, whether to check the mesh or borrow a tool. They shared tea made from his sprouting mint leaves in the greenhouse dome. They talked about Earth, not as a paradise but as a place full of mistakes and stories. He asked her about her dreams. She didn't know how to answer. She'd never had the luxury to dream. But she began to wonder, what would it be like to live somewhere the sun actually rose? Part 5. The Signal. 3 months passed in a quiet rhythm. System checks, subtle laughter, shared silences. Then the signal arrived. It came through an encrypted channel, one not used in decades. The message was short, in a decaying format. The AI stuttered as it translated. This is Deep System Probe Theta 9. Origin confirmed. Arcani's drift. Message time. 71 years ago. Content. Earth colony Arcani's destroyed. Survivors unknown. Requesting AI override to initiate emergency restoration protocols. The drift probe had only just entered Solaria 9's outer range. Dario and Lena stared at the console together. She felt a chill run down her spine. Arcani's drift, he murmured. That was one of the expansion colonies. Supposed to be self-sustaining. 71 years, Lena whispered. They've been drifting all this time. They alerted the council. Arguments ensued. Whether to respond, whether to risk rerouting power to track the probe. Resources were limited. Energy reallocation could destabilize the dome for weeks. Lena didn't hesitate. We help them, she said. If anyone's alive out there, we have to. It was Dario who stood beside her in the tribunal chamber. His voice calm but firm. You want to know why your systems still run? Why this dome hasn't failed yet? 'Cause she made it work. And if she says we can help them, we can. The vote passed. Barely. Part 6. Into the drift. Over the next 2 weeks, Lena and Dario worked around the clock. They triangulated the probe's location, boosted signal strength, and overrode several council failsafes to reroute energy flows. They didn't sleep much, but neither seemed to mind. As the transmission cleared, more data emerged. Fragments of logs, biometric scans, cryostasis readouts. There were 32 survivors. Cryo. Failing systems. 71 years in the dark. On the night they locked in a response signal, Dario took her to the West Dome and handed her something. A small, imperfectly cut crystal. Glowing faintly blue. Found it in the old mineral stacks, he said. Thought it looked like you. She laughed. Like me. Yeah, he said softly. Rough edges. But rare. And it glows when you let it. She looked at the crystal and then at him. You're ridiculous. Maybe. But I meant it the first day I said it, and every day since. You changed this place, Lena. You changed me. Her eyes shimmered. She didn't know how to hold feelings this big, so she held his hand instead. Part 7. A New Dawn. They launched the rescue drone 2 days later. It would take weeks to reach the drift zone, but the signal was strong, the cryo system stabilized.